never wanted that game to end. Welcome to NBA Today. We're only 11 days away from the end of the regular season and the race for the postseason. It has never been tighter. It's one of those, if you don't jump to put your jeans on, that's the energy here in the Western Conference. Coming into action last night, seeds 3 through 8. They were separated by only 4 games, but things got shaken like a salt shaker last night when the game of the year tipped off in the Mile High City between Anthony Edwards' Wolves and Nikola Jokic's Denver Nuggets. The Wolves were coming here in this one. We're going to pick this one up here. The final frame. Fourth quarter here. Danny Green, Kendrick.
Small.
Jokic.
Look at that deep seal in the paint.
Bodying his way inside there. Anthony Edwards, though, started heating up here. He only had 10 points entering.
You know, Jokic gets it at that nail spot. That nail area is hard to guard him, hard to send double teams. Watch him take advantage of it last night.
So that foul would be it for the evening for Rudy Gobert. Nikola Jokic hits the free throws. So we're headed to overtime here. 2.5 left in the first overtime. Denver within
6 trays.
12 seconds left here. The Nuggets down 2 with the side out. Jokic gets a switch here on Anthony Edwards off the inbounds play.
This is just too easy.
Back it up. Hits the game-tying floater. So, yes, you guessed it. If you wanted to go to bed early, this would not be the night. We're headed to a second overtime. And look how many minutes Jokic and Edwards have played up until this point, and we have another overtime to go. Early in the second overtime here, Jokic.
Look where he's catching that ball at.
Pivot.
That nail, you cannot send the double team.
Just over 2 minutes left. Nuggets now
game.
up by 1 here. This would be called as a goaltend on Jaden McDaniels. That gives Jokic 60 on the night in a triple-double. Realize that Russell Westbrook called for a foul on the three-point play. Time expiring here. At the line, no more stressful moment than this. Alexander Walker. Big 26-point performance, perhaps.
He made big shots for us all night long, every quarter. Whenever we needed it, he came through in the clutch. He made the right plays. He was poised down the stretch. So whatever I did don't matter. What he did, he was the MVP tonight.
So the Wolves have now won 6 straight games against the Nuggets, including the playoffs. And besides last night, they've not really been close. Minnesota winning by almost 18 points a game. There are nights when it's hard to fall asleep. This is why we love the NBA. Let's start with the Stars, Perk. A huge night here from Nikola Jokic in a 60-point triple-double.
And just a simple reminder that of his greatness, but also when we talk about the MVP conversation, that's beneath him. When we talk about the best player in the world conversation, that's beneath him. It's time to have different conversations about Jokic. He's already a top 20 greatest player of all time. Now you start to ask, where do he rank for his top centers?
Is that a knock-knock?
Knocking at the door at number 5. Knocking at the door at number 5. I don't have him there yet, DG, because I feel like he needs one more championship to get into that top 5. Because you have guys like, Kareem. You have guys like Bill Russell, Shaq. But what he's doing right now this year, what he did last night, was a reminder that it's time to have different conversations about him outside of MVP and best player in the league. He's done that for the last 3 years.
Definitely. It's a shame that he still might not win MVP because his team's standing. But the numbers, the historic season he's had, we've seen LeBron James, he could have won it multiple times. We've seen Kobe should have gotten it a couple times. Many other guys should have gotten it. He's one of those guys that are the greatest ever, lace him up. And he should be getting his flowers, rightfully so. It's just sad to see that he's able to close out these wins with having these type of performances and his team not being higher in the standing.
But what's cool is when you're able to see 2 players go toe-to-toe. It wasn't a 60-point triple-double, but Anthony Edwards, it was a slow burn, but he really got to go in there in the fourth and overtime. What did you see on his side?
Yeah, no, he picked it up. That's what he's supposed to do. He's a star. He showed up. I mean, Julius Randle's been playing really well also, but he found his rhythm, got to the spots, not only made shots, but he made plays. He found the guys when they doubled. He got to the free throw line some, but he started knocking down his threes. Sometimes eventually a star is going to get hot. You take enough shots, stay aggressive. I love his aggressiveness. I love that he loved to take over. I still want to see him take it up just a little bit of a notch in that overtime situation where he could have been more aggressive, but he did everything he was supposed to do as a superstar player.
This was the game of the year, right, Perk?
Yeah, Yeah, I think it topped the Cleveland OKC game.
That one was pretty good, but it was right up there. These are the nights that it's like you're already looking forward to coming into the show the next day to be able to dissect every angle of this game. But even though last night it was the game of the year, it didn't come without some mistakes from both sides. Here's what Chris Finch had to say about Anthony Edwards being double-teamed late and the Wolves' late-game execution.
He knew it was coming, and getting off of it, I thought we'd get an advantage. I thought Julius maybe should have just let it fly on the first one, and then he kind of sidestepped. Then the one in the post in double overtime, the slip was going to be there. But yeah, Ant gave it up, and he's, making the right play there.
I feel awful for Russ. That last play, we get the turnover, we don't convert, and then the foul. But it was not from a lack of effort or care. And sometimes it goes like that.
Listen, emotion make you cry sometimes, damn it. But last night was a brawl for it all. I got my boy DG up here. Combined, we got a whole lot of championships, a whole lot of finals experience. We got to talk about some of the things that we saw last night on the bad side of things. I'm going to let DG talk about Minnesota, Anthony Edwards, which he highlighted minutes ago, about how he could have been more aggressive.
Yeah, this is a situation, first time, 112 tied up. The first double team, you don't expect it coming. They try to set a horns action. Julius Randle, okay, I'll live with him taking a shot. Didn't hit the rim, but he got a decent look. Same scenario right here. Tied up, 7 seconds. You know the double team's coming. At this point, you got to know, Anthony Edwards, you got to find a counter to make sure you get the last shot. Double team comes again. He could have been way more aggressive in this situation. Just let it happen. Found his guys. They get Nickeil Alexander-Walker for the one dribble pull-up. Another shot that does not hit the rim. He's not happy with the situation. I put a lot of this on Finch and not finding counter moves to get Anthony Edwards and put him in right positions to not get double teamed. Like you said, that nail area is where you kind of want to get him. You put him in a bad spot here. Another situation in the corner where they get a double. Next you know, turnover. Throws the ball away to Russell Westbrook. Perk, tell me what happens in this situation. It's hard for me to watch this.
Well, what happened is this, okay? One, Russ got to make that layup. That's a second-grade layup right there, like textbook transition, 2-on-1, and now all of a sudden you're in transition, right? So now you're trying to find man. You see guys are scrambling, and Russ, the competitive guy that he is, he closed out on the shooter, and then unfortunately he fouls him, and now all of a sudden Alexander Walker goes to the line, knocked down 3 free throws, and the rest is history. But let me tell you something about this man right here. I see the internet going crazy and blaming Russ about the loss. Yes, could he have made the layup? Absolutely. But the foul, that's just the competitive nature. He's a future Hall of Famer. By the way, he's done more this season for the Denver Nuggets on the good side of things to have them, number 3 in the Western Conference than he has on the bad side. I know we saw a historic night from Jokic last night. I know they wanted to get the win for him. But at the end of the day, man, let's not disrespect this man too much from the competitive side of things, the way he competes night in and night out. I'm pretty sure Russell Westbrook lost sleep last night behind that game.
Yeah, there was definitely some frustrations. You saw Aaron Gordon leaving the floor even before the game ended, and there's surely some things the Nuggets would like to do differently the next time they face the Wolves, again, maybe in the postseason. That had to be Steph